Hey, welcome back. It's Jimmy the Mad Vaper here, and today I got a new box mod for you. The 200-watt Snow Wolf. She is a beast. I'll show you why here in a second when I open the box up, but let's run through some of the specs right quick. She's got battery protection in there, so if your batteries drop below 6.2 volts or so, she's going to keep your battery safe. 5 watts all the way up to 200 watts, so you can use your tank on there, you can use your dripper on there, either or. She has a ohm resistance of 0.05 all the way to 2.5, so very versatile machine there. And temperature control 212 degrees Fahrenheit to 662 degrees Fahrenheit, so she really has a good range of temperature, unlike some of the other temperature controls that are a little bit low. Now, she is sporting one of the newest chips out there, and you can really tell when you're vaping on this thing. I've got an IPv3. I love my IPv3, but when the IPv3 is on 50 watts and I'm hitting it, it feels like one way. You put the same Addy on this at 50 watts, and it feels like 65 watts, 70 watts. Very nice. It really reads everything a lot better than the older chips do. All right, well, let's go ahead and open her up. So you can see the box it comes with is actually quite nice for a box mod nowadays. Most of those boxes are small, dinky boxes. Are really nice, hard box. First thing when you open her up, you're going to have your warranty card, informational booklet, rough breakdown of how to work these buttons and the features. Warranty card, 30-day warranty comes with the unit. Most vape shops, though, give you 30 days to bring it back if there's a problem anyway. Most vape shops that are good will. So I picked this one up at Vaper Alley in Easton, Maryland. They also have a website. Links down at the bottom. Give these guys a check out. They have great prices. Yeah, she runs about 180 bucks, though. That's a manufacturer's set price. I've seen some other people that don't have that set price, but I believe it's a manufacturer set price, so they're going to have to follow it. So let's take her out of the box, and I'll show you here. You can see the glass. They're calling it iPhone glass. I think it's plexi myself on the front and the back. Nice. I believe this is stainless steel, brushed, slightly polished. Nice logo on the side there, 200-watt Snow Wolf. She's heavier than the IPv3. She's heavier than the Sigelli 150. So, but it feels real good in your hand. So the battery door, right on the bottom, you got that just a little lip. You can barely see that thing in there close. You can see a little lip. Pop that off. Bam, there's your batteries right underneath. And you can see the magnets on this thing. They are huge. Two at the top, one at the bottom. Go in, and you can hear it when it goes on. Oh, it's nice. Nothing's good. That lid's not coming off. But that's the look of her. Well, let's go ahead and put a atomizer on there. I'm going to put a troll. Now, nice couple of safety features it's got. When you first hit it, the first time, it's going to go into temperature control mode automatically. Which this is good because it's not reading your. A lot of times with the Vaper flask, you'll hit right while I'm using even the nickel. It thinks it's a regular Canthol wire or something, and it's hitting that nickel too high. This thing automatically starts off with temperature control, which is not a big deal. All you do is you hold your button down for a second, and it kicks right back out. So I've got this thing set on 151 watts. I'm going to take it down and show you something. 146 watts. A lot of power, 146 watts. Now that's on standard mode. At 100 between 5 watts and all the way up to 150 watts, you're on straight volts watts mode. The watts, they're just solid watts. Now, if you go above 150 watts, say just 151, just 1 watt over, it goes into pulse mode, which has a little P up in the corner. Now, I don't know if you could hear the difference here. I'm going to do it regular. Just hear the air. Now I'm going to put 151. Now you're going to hear something different when I'm inhaling here. Hear that little revving sound? can see the vape when it's coming out in pulses. What it's doing is like basically like a limiter on a import car. When you hit that gas too hard and it revs up and stops, yin, 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 yin. That's exactly what the coil's doing under the hood. It's revving up to a 200 watt or 151 watts, powering down just for a second, backed up to 150, power down, back and forth, back and forth. And what I'm finding is it's actually almost like pumping the juice into the coils, because it's laying the heat off for just a split second, and that split second is all it needs to cool down for just a split second to suck the juice back up into that dry area, and then it's hitting that juice again. So it's like an endless pump of juice. I mean, before on the IPv3, when I put her up to 150 watts and I take a hit, one good hit, and that cotton's dry on the top, wet at the bottom, and then I'm waiting for it to rejuice itself, or I gotta rejuice it. On this, it's kind of like pumping it from the bottom to the top. It's working great. This pulse mode is really something nice. I'm hoping to see a lot more mods do it. But right now I got Snow Wolf. I don't plan on buying one for a while. This is a really nice mod. So I'm going to hit her at, I'm going to go up to 200 watts. Full 200. Huge clouds. Now I've also got a 0.1 ohm dual parallel 24 gauge coil in there. She's on it by a 0.1, and she's running at 5 volts. But the 200 watt pulse mode, I'm getting a pretty cool vape here. I'm not burning my lungs like I would with my IPv3. Three giant hits like that, and I didn't have a dry hit. That's because of that pulse mode, guys. You've got to try to believe it. It is really something special. Now I'm going to go ahead and put another coil on here. Take the troll off. I'm just going to go ahead and put the Cloud Champ clone on. Everything looks kind of nice on it because of the stainless sides and the black top. So if you got a black or a stainless mod or Addy, it's going to look good on there. So I've got a nickel building here. So when I hit it, it's going to ask me for a new atomizer. We'll press yes. I got her set for 432 degrees Fahrenheit. It doesn't matter with your wattage on this point. It's still set at 200 watts, but it's going to drop down. So if you are new to nickel, this is how it works. It's going to drop your wattage down to hit your target temperature. When that target temperature is reached, it's going to stop the wattage. So it might start off at 30, drop down to 10, then back up to 15, and all the way down to 0 when your cotton's dry, because you're not going to get burnt hit. It can sense what temperature coils are at. So let's take a hit on just standard. This is nickel, 17 wraps, 24 gauge nickel. Huge clouds, and I'm finding more clouds than what I was hitting on my Vaper flask. I love my Vaper flask. It's a great little machine there, but the temperature control on this unit is just so superior compared to the other ones I've had. And I've never had this big of clouds from one of these. And I think it's the way it ramps it up and keeps it at target temperature better. As you see, it's just one coil in there. One single coil. But you see there, she's getting kind of dry. She goes down to 0, and it will not burn your cotton. I keep that button down. It's not going to burn the cotton up. So that's the great thing about the nickel temperature control builds. If you're looking to get a box mod if you're just looking to get a new box mod, 200 watt box mod, you cannot go wrong, especially with the pulse mode. But if you're you want to try that nickel builds, but didn't want to go buy just a nickel device because they're only 40 watts, 50 watts. I like 50 watt devices here and there, but I like my power. I love carrying my power because I like putting my big drip roll in there, and I like blowing clouds. That's just me. Some people might not be into the big clouds as much, but most of us are. This one's like 2-in-1. You got the clouds, you got the nickel, best of both worlds in one box. It's a great unit. Nice little safety feature is in there. It does go into standby mode by itself. So if you don't vape for a couple minutes, it doesn't tell you in the booklet at all about this. But if you go about 2-3 minutes without vaping, maybe 4, it goes into a standby mode where you have to hit the button 5 times. So that's a real nice feature. You put it in your pocket. It's not going to dry fire because it's going to be in that safety mode. And as soon as you come out of the safety mode, just like I said before, it's going to be in temperature control until you hit it for 2 seconds, which lets it ramp up, and then it realizes you got canthal on there, nichrome, or nickel. As soon as it figures it out, puts it in the right mode, and you're black to blowing clouds again. All right, the operation on the unit, really easy. It's 3 buttons, and unlike the other temperature controls, they ain't going to run you through a bunch of hoops to get to all your settings. 5 clicks, power on, go into standby mode, either or. So 5 clicks of the fire button, you're in standby mode. You do not have to put it in the standby mode to change the wattage or to change the temperature. All you do is you click the plus and the minus at the same time. Press it once, it's going to highlight the wattage. It's going to flash. Double click them again. Click. You're on the Fahrenheit mode. And you up, plus down for your Fahrenheit. So that's it. There's no running circles through all these menus trying to set up stuff. Pretty basic, pretty simple. It works. It really works. So you got 3 buttons, easy navigation. So let's go through the pros and the cons here. The only cons I can see that people might not like is the finish on the front being either glass or plexi. They might not like that, thinking it might scratch. I haven't had no issues with scratching, cracking, or anything like that, which makes me kind of think that it's a plexi. But if you really think you're going to scratch it up or something, put some screensavers on it, like on a cell phone screensavers. It'll keep your finish looking nice behind it. Go to the vape meet, rip them off. It looks like a brand new unit. Slap it back on there Monday morning, you're ready to go again. So if it's a big con for you for the finish on the front, I can't see it being that, but that's about the only thing I find. And maybe a little bit, it's a little heavier than the other units, but it's in a good way. I'm already used to it. The pros, to me, the weight is a pro to me. It feels good in your hand. It feels like you bought something worth money. It feels solid in your hand, and the size of it is smaller than the other units. More watts, but smaller. It feels good in your hand. Get a good grip on it. I like it. And almost concealed, but with just one hand. It's really nice. The finish is unbelievable looking. Got that brushed, I think it is stainless, brushed. You got your laser logo on the front, Snow Wolf 200 watt. That's it. It's a beautiful device. So the finish is great. I like the glass look in the front with the window in the front. I didn't like it on the side where I had to keep on looking over. I can vape and see what's going on while I'm vaping. I love it. A big plus on my part is the pulsating mode when you get up above 150 watts. I'm telling you, this thing is amazing with the pulse mode. It's almost like it's pumping the juice into your coils in this pulse mode. I really would have liked to seen that pulse mode go, be able to turn it on and off at a lower setting, because I think at 50, 75 watts on a smaller coil, if it pulsated the same way it did with the higher wattages, I would like that. I'd like to see it pull that juice in and out of that coil, because some of my smaller builds that don't want to go up to 151 watts would really be nice with that pulse mode. But I've been running those smaller builds on 150 watts and getting just fine hits. It's the way that thing's pulsating. It really just pumps the juice in there. It really works good. Getting bigger clouds from all of my atomizers, all my builds. I got the same builds on them, but I'm getting bigger clouds. So big plus with that. Well, that's all I got on the Snow Wolf 200 watt. Like I said, I bought mine at Vaper Alley. Check that link down at the bottom. Great store, great online deals and everything. Well, this has been Jimmy the Mad Vaper, and I guess I'll see you next time.